RFK Jr.'s running mate, Nicole Shanahan, has apparently doubled down on the idea that he could drop out of the race, endorse Donald Trump to gain a position in his administration. And we want to give you just a little bit of what she's been saying.
It's Bobby's decision. I came into this supporting him wholeheartly to win this election. And I have to say there's only one party that has obstructed a fair election for us. And unfortunately, it was the Democratic Party.
You talk about this as being Bobby's decision. Do you see a home for RFK Jr. in the Trump administration, Health and Human Services, something to that extent?
I would fully support it.
Yeah, we get that. We get that you do, and we get that he would, and we get that that was one of the main missions of running. And not just, this is not a criticism just of RFK Jr. Many people launch runs to get into an administration. I don't think Vivek Ramaswamy was like, I got this thing, okay? You do it to get the position. And it's not just on the right either, by the way. I mean, Pete Buttigieg has the platform that he has because he ran for president, even though he had almost no chance of winning. But I don't think a lot of people are surprised by this. And I don't know that interviewer, Sharon, but I love that he floats the possibility of RFK Jr. getting into the administration, which, okay, if he wants to leave, it makes more sense for him to endorse Donald Trump. His politics are closer to Donald Trump. But that in particular, he would be in charge of Health and Human Services. That does feel like a great cosmic joke on America coming out of the pandemic.
A storm is tearing up the digital media industry. Only our audience can save us in these difficult times. Help us reach our goal of 100,000 new members at tyt.com/team.
What do you think?
It's a big fat joke, okay? First of all, it would never happen because Donald Trump does not want to share the stage with anyone who has fantastic stories about leaving a bear in Central Park and what's the affliction he had? Was those worms or something? He doesn't want anyone else, and they don't need anybody else who behaves sometimes in a weird fashion. I think that's safe to say. The fact that he would be anything close to the director of health, and maybe the human services part I could live, but health is just, and I don't even know about the human services. It's just a non-starter. So that might mean, actually I reversed myself. Maybe Donald Trump will do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, there's been an evolving understanding of if he takes votes, who does he take them from? And it does seem like it's changed over time, and it does seem like it depends on the state. But I think the stable position we've landed in is, to the extent that he takes votes, he takes 2/3 of them from Donald Trump, 1/3 from the Democrat. And so strategically, it wouldn't be a bad move for Donald Trump. And as the guy that helped launch the vaccines, which he claimed credit for and has been running from ever since because his base despises the very concept of vaccines, to come out and say, I'm gonna make this guy the head of the CDC or something, that would probably go quite a long way with conspiracy theorists. So I think strategically it would be a good move. And he's already saying that he might do that. He told CNN he'd be open to offering RFK Jr. a position in his administration if he were to drop out and endorse him. He said at one point, you're asking me a very unusual question. I haven't been asked that question yet, which is a lie. I like him a lot. I respect him a lot. I probably would if something like that would happen. First of all, you've talked on the phone with him about that. Stop talking about it as if this is some sort of hypothetical. This is clearly a thing that could happen. It doesn't mean it's guaranteed to happen, but they have talked about it happening. And again, I think it's not a bad strategic move. But I would also say to people who might be worried about this, and there is cause to worry, where his votes go could end up swinging a state. And any individual state could determine the path of this presidential race. But as time has gone on, the value of his endorsement does seem to have dropped some. And so if you look at the polling of Harris, Trump, and RFK Jr., he's now tracking at average 2.8%, which is a far cry from where he was at like 6 months ago. And so it's not even a guaranteed 2.8% that would go to Trump if he endorsed him, because some of them are gonna want the real deal and they're not gonna buy Donald Trump, the guy who is, he's not a pure blood when it comes to vaccines. So I don't know if you have any kind of prediction about how important his endorsement could be if he does it. What do you think?
Inside, I kind of feel like he's jumped the shark. But then part of me said he could catch a flyer and that percentage could tick up, the polling. And then I mean this, Donald Trump could replace Vance on the ticket with him. I think he could, if there's a legal way to do that, I think he would do it. That's how unpopular Vance is.
That is maybe an amazing idea. Why not at this point? Why not do it? I like that.
The other side
I hate that. I think it would be terrible, but it's a good idea. I like it. Okay, well, that said, we're gonna see. Oh, by the way, in terms of like, while this is going on, how hard is he fighting to actually win? Well, he had a court date, had to do with the Democrats' ballot challenge in Pennsylvania, which could be an example of what Nicole Shanahan was talking about. And he showed up an hour and 40 minutes late to it. So he says there was flight troubles, maybe there were, but it doesn't really seem as if his heart is really into this for his own sake. Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.